In Dungeons & Dragons lore, death for a fiend is usually temporary. When a demon is slain on the material plane, its physical form dissolves, allowing its essence to return to the abyss and reform. But mortal magic can break this cycle. A powerful binding circle or a botched banishment can catch that essence mid-flight, violently snagged by glowing magical tethers before it can reach the abyss. This interference strips away the demon's physical body and its rank within the abyssal hierarchy. It becomes a permanent exile. This remnant is the Shadow Demon, a winged humanoid with elongated, needle-sharp claws and a lower body that trails off into a wavering mass of dark smoke. Devoid of their original rank, they no longer require air, food, or sleep. Instead, they are driven by a singular predatory instinct to survive in a reality that is suddenly hostile to them. A shadow demon is not born from natural abyssal selection. It is a living, trapped consequence of mortal magic gone wrong. The material plane is dangerous for these exiles. Their primary weakness is an extreme vulnerability to radiant damage and bright light. Mechanically, this light sensitivity forces the demon to roll with disadvantage on attack rolls and perception checks whenever it is caught in a well-lit area. This schematic shows how they mitigate risk. Using incorporeal movement, the demon passes directly through solid walls to avoid a light source. However, if it stops its movement while inside an object, its essence clashes with solid matter, dealing 1d10 force damage. These physical limitations turn the dungeon into a tactical puzzle, forcing the demon to use masonry and terrain as shields to protect its fragile form. For offense, they rely on shadow stealth. In dim light or darkness, the demon uses a bonus action to hide, vanishing from sight. This makes a well-guarded camp vulnerable. Adventurers sitting around a fire believe the light provides a safe perimeter. In reality, flickering light creates the exact conditions the demon needs. It merges with the shadows cast by the trees to position itself for a strike. Their primary attack uses incorporeal claws that bypass physical armor. These strikes target the victim's mind directly, dealing heavy psychic damage. The demon has a mechanical incentive to stay hidden. Striking with advantage from its hiding spot, the psychic damage from its claws increases significantly. This predator thrives at the exact threshold where a torch's reach begins to fail. Every single flickering candle becomes a gamble, and unlit corners become weapons turned against the party. Mere survival in the shadows is rarely the goal. Shadow demons ultimately seek agency and power to escape their exiled state. Their strategy involves identifying desperate mortals and attaching to them through parasitic pacts. We can see this specific lore in action in the actual play series Critical Role. A shadow demon named Orthax targeted the character Percival de Rollo by feeding on his desire for vengeance. Orthax manipulated him into a pact, growing stronger by consuming the souls of Percy's enemies. These pacts can escalate into full-scale possession. The demon Trush, for instance, manipulated the veil between planes to take control of a goblin seer in the town of Erzin. This transforms the demon from a simple combat encounter into a long-term narrative threat that is deeply attached to a player character's history. The Shadow Demon is a uniquely invasive threat. It weaponizes a character's trauma and gradually converts their soul into its new, permanent home.